Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Academy podcast. This is your host, Dr. Leland. Today is what? Midweek. We are bringing you amazing people, community voices, amplifying your brand every single Wednesday. I pick and choose who comes in here to really put our best foot forward on discussing things that are happening, whether it's mental health or nutrition or any type of education. We highlight people in our community, whether you're team replay or live, to really see how we can help each other, right? Because we are global citizens. Today, I am here with my dear sister, Lisa. She's one of my 50 inspirational connections. And believe it or not, she's also going to be in the anthology Rebel with a Cause. So I am super excited about that. But first things first, before any announcements, we are going to start our intro. Here it is.
Are you a curious student, eager to learn new skills and make your mark in the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your full potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Doc Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.
That's right. Soft skills, people. Soft skills. So I'm going to share this with you guys. Look at my girlfriend, Paulette. Isn't she cute? I actually bought this book. It's called New House Nerves, Jack and Walter. And I just wish that when my kids and I were moving, and there's a lot of fear on the unknown as children process through, I'm going to leave my friends. I'm not going to be with my favorite teacher. I have this book. So if you have changes in your household or if your children have fear on something, whether it's a change of dynamics in your family or a change in environment, I highly recommend reading this book. And my dogs love this book too, because when I was reading to them, they were paying attention as if they really understood what I'm saying. But I really love elevating people and also their amazing publishing, right? And you cannot forget my 50 inspirational connections on LinkedIn. I am happy to tell you guys that ta ta da da, it is time to show and tell. So this Friday, on my YouTube channel, you will need to be there at 12 p.m. PST. So if you're in the East Coast, that is 3 hours ahead. That is 3 p.m. EST or 2 p.m. CST if you're in Texas, right? If you are in the UK, like London or England, that is 8 hours. So about 8 p.m. your time, you will be able to see the video submitted by amazing Kevin, Marlene, Isabel, Jackie, and Okam, and really kind of get to know our inspirational leaders on what they do for their business and what they do for the community, and really find out what's the why, right? I didn't tell them how to do it or where to do it or whatever you need to say. I never told them. All I said is create 5-minute video, 3 to 5 minutes, and basically tell me and answer me these two questions. And what's really amazing is that I asked the same questions over and over for this 50 amazing people, but they give me different views on those 50 based on what they do. So tune in our YouTube channel, and my handle is at Lua by Doc Leland. Lua is Level Up Academy. Okay, so I will also send the business page. We'll have the link as soon as I'm done editing. I'm still editing, guys. I'm a one woman show. I do everything on my own. So I am editing their video and my reaction with my dear sister Susanna on each of these videos. So you will see them this Friday. I know it's show and tell time, right? And you'll also see some of these people actually on our live as well, to make sure that they can represent themselves and have a reaction of, what is happening or how are they navigating through being 50 inspirational connections. I don't want it to just be vanity measures. I want it to continue the process. I want to give them space where they're actually given a time and space to really level up their game and what they do. Tomorrow on my TV show, I will have Dr. Antonio Johnson. Now, Dr. Johnson was one of my colleague. I was his dean at another university. I hired him because he has an amazing heart, right? He lives in Chicago. He was at that time a police officer, I believe, or volunteering and helping the youth of Chicago, the streets of Chicago, right? And he has amazing mentorship abilities. He's now a consultant, and I cannot wait to elevate him and let him know we care about what he does for his community. But most importantly, who is Dr. Antonio Johnson? So go ahead and stay tuned for that same time. Guys, press release are super important, right? I'm actually on like 1459 press releases, basically making sure that whoever is in this book right now with Rebel with a Cause, I'm gonna try my best to put you guys on press release with me on this book. I just created the notebook journal. So if you're not able to join us, might be a financial, might be a time constraint, might be a mindset thing in your head that you're stuck, like, oh, I'm not good enough to write, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm actually creating a notebook journal for you to write your own book on this Rebel with a Cause. I have a journal that I will release, I believe, sometime next week. I will release that journal to you guys so you can buy it on Amazon and write your own story from there. All right. And of course, you guys, I wanted to also talk about my brother Mike. HOB founder. HOB is Hounds of Business Community. We are looking for 5 ambassadors. You have to be a member of HOB. This man right here deserves a break. So he is in Florida, Disney World with his family, his beautiful 2 daughters, and his beautiful, amazing wife who supports him. And they're taking a vacay right now. So we will let people in on HOB. You have to be at least 3 months. But Mike says, I can veto that. If I see the vibe and the person really is willing to help our community, they could be here 2 days or 2 weeks if they're willing. Yes, this is only a 3 month thing where you able to introduce people to us, show up for engagement, be a champion for others, right? That's what we're all about, is about the heart and our soul, right? If you're passionate, you are soul hearted. And so Mike and I are looking for 5 ambassadors, and that is the application. So let me know if you're interested to belong to HOB. If you're not, and if you are already on HOB and you want to be an ambassador and you are brand new, please let Mike and I know. We will be happy to help you out. And of course, guys, Rebel with a Cause, today is the very last day. Very last day. Okay. So after today, you will no longer be able to do Rebel with a Cause with us. This is my author's call. Basically, you're going to ask, CJ, what's that all about? It's about challenging the status quo, right? Do you want to help the community from your own experiences, but you really don't know how to do it massively? You might be doing it on audio rooms, you might be doing it on Instagram or TikTok or all of these silo platforms, but why not join us and get you out there right away? right? Doesn't matter how good you are and how good your voices are if no one knows who you are. And that's what I do. I amplify your message everywhere, from books to TV shows to radio to podcasts, right? To TV shows. That's what I do for my community. So if ever dream of writing but scared of judgment, like, I don't know, my grammar is not good enough. Listen, I am a non native in America. I couldn't speak English when I came here. English is my seventh language. So if I can misspell things and I'm not perfect on my grammar, so what? My heart is perfectly for you. It's fine. Okay? You can understand me. Stop being nitpicky. I'm not an English teacher. I'm not claiming to be, right? But here's your chance to write with us. But today is the last day. So go ahead and scan that QR code. Now, ta-da! Happy Wednesday! I know. I wish I could like sing some good karaoke. Where's Noni and Ollie when you need them? Anyhow, um, I wanted to talk about something. So one of my dear best friend here on LinkedIn. I'm not going to name her. She had the heart to tell me, CJ, is something going on with you? And I'm like, there's a lot. I got sick. It's been 3 weeks. I'm still coughing. She's like, no, I know this is not you, but something is off. And I'm like, what's happening? She said, you edited my post, but then you added something that seems off. And I'm like, okay, stop being kind with your words and give it to me straight. What did I do? And she said, the post was not sounding like you. And it seems like it was almost attacking my post. I'm like, I would never do that. She's like, I know. And so I looked and I'm like, that is not me. I did not write that. And you know better, right? Even if I do not like you and I do not like your space and I do not like how you think you do things, I will never put my displease on anyone on social media. That is not who I am. So if you see me posting and angry and all that, no, that's not the drama. I don't do drama, mama. I got no time for it. I'm so happy with what I'm doing. I have a full-time job, guys. I work more than 40 hours of my full-time job as a professor and a director in business entrepreneurship. I do not have time for that. And I run my business with publishing, with TV show, with radio show, with podcast circuit, with book events, with journals. I don't have time for that drama. So I will never take the time and space to talk bad about somebody. That's not who I am. That's just not who I am. So if you see that, please tell me. So I had to change my password on LinkedIn. So if I am slow to reply, I just changed my password because someone was pretending. A couple of weeks ago, someone texted one of my good friends and said, "Hey, CJ, this is CJ, and I changed my phone number. I still have my old number, but I need you to use this number." And I was like, "Did they ask for money? Because I don't ever ask for money like that." And they're like, "No, but it was weird that you're changing your number. You've never changed your number for 15 years." So, guys, there's somebody out there trying to get me. I don't know why. And changing my passwords now. And I never, if I give you my cell phone number, has that changed in the last 12 years. I'm not changing any number. I do have two phones though. I'll be honest with you. I have a work phone because I have a Samsung. And then I have my cell phone, my private cell phone. This is my iPhone. But I don't have changed my number. Okay. So that's my iPhone. And then I have my work phone, my Samsung. Okay. That's two, 619 and 925 area code. If those are different and I said I changed, please don't. I don't know why people are like that. Please stop. Okay. I'm literally trying to help you, whoever you are. And it's so crazy how people are doing that. Stay positive in your space. All right. Now, let me bring in our queen for the day. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. I couldn't contain myself even last night. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having Lisa. Oh, I have so many questions. Here comes Lisa.
I
How are you, dear sister?
I'm good. I like Queen for a day. I like that. I'll
You
go with
are
that.
you are my queen for the day. Every single guest who's in here is my queen for the day, and I'm so excited that you're here today. Super excited. Thank you and welcome.
I am so happy to be here with you, CJ. I have seen you. so many times and heard you so many times in audio rooms. I just, this is just a blessing for me. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for this time. Now, let me go ahead and just get to it, right? This is always my first question is think back 20 years ago, Lisa, and
Wow.
find within your timeline like some of the significant changes in your life that got you here where you are today. Basically, tell us who is Lisa and how did you start this menopause conversation?
20 years ago, my gosh, my menopause brain probably can't go back so far. Um, actually, I was never meant to be, let me rephrase. I didn't think I was meant to be in this space. I actually started as in my career as an electrical engineer, following in my family's footsteps. And actually, because I had to have two surgeries on my spine, I couldn't work in that space again. And I was wondering, well, what's next for me? It was a visit to a dietitian, another dietitian, and the service that I got from her that I was wondering, like, there must be something better. This can't be the way people are supposed to receive healthcare service. It was just, a visit where she ticked off some stuff on a sheet and handed me and said, come back in 3 months. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this, right? And I believe in a power that is greater than ourselves because I started seeing signs, as in the university near me is offering a degree in dietetics. So I said, okay, maybe I should do it. And I kept seeing signs, do dietetics, do dietetics. And that is how I switched careers. My family wasn't happy because I was an engineer, right, and making a lot of money. And to switch careers was a big decision, but it's something that I thank God that I do every day because now I'm able to really serve women and serve people in general and give them the life that they deserve to have.
I love it. We have a lot of people here. My sister Susanna is here.
Mm.
Christy Williams is here. Louis,
Yeah.
Louis,
Hi,
bro,
everybody.
I love you, bro. Listen, this is a menopause conversation, and he's here because men also has menopause called andropause, and it
Yes.
was the first time that I heard you say that. And the reason I know that's because during my program for my doctoral, my girlfriend, one of my best friend now, we went to the same school, but she's a scientist. She's
Mhm.
one of the biggest executive here in San Diego now for cancer, and
Okay.
she basically is in science and her research was about andropause. I'm like, what is that? And he's like,
Yeah.
did you know that men has menopause too? You know, those midlife crises and all this nonsense that they're
Yeah.
doing with,
Yeah.
divorcing their wife and having young women and buying all this exotic cars and all that. I'm like, oh wow, there's a scientific reason for it. It's just not they're not going cuckoo. And she's like, no, there is. And I was like, okay, I get it now. And I heard you. You're the only one I've heard on LinkedIn talked about andropause. And I had so much respect when you said, I'm like, yes, please go to the scientific option of it because it's no longer a theory. It is provided scientifically on what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So I was loving that. Now, when you went through your own issue and you're like, I'm going to change career, how did you go about and saying this is something that I'm passionate about and helping my community?
So it was actually because of my dad that I realized this was something I needed to do, but not in the nicest of ways. So when I changed careers, he retired from his job around the same time. And we really started getting into that health space. Okay, well, he's 60. What does he do now? He needs to take care of himself. And at that time, we really went from a father-daughter relationship to more of a friend relationship. And it was something that just was so dear to me. And with my learnings going through dietetics and nutrition, I was able to help him with diabetes, which he didn't know he had, and high blood pressure. Um, but sooner or later, he actually developed cancer, found out he had cancer on his birthday, and died a month later. And that really crushed me because and I still tear up about it. I I thought I was a good healthcare provider and I could save everyone, and that experience taught me that I just need to give my best and let the universe decide what it will decide. I can't save everyone, and I just need to do my best. So that really changed my outlook, the way I see healthcare, because people don't get the best healthcare services from their doctors or whoever it is. But my job on this earth is just to be passionate all the time and to serve others in a manner that's bigger than myself. And then the rewards will come however it comes. And then when I was grieving for his death and I started to have my own symptoms, all the doctors told me, okay, well, it's from the stress of loss. That's why I'm having these things. And I didn't have the traditional menopausal symptoms, as in hot flashes and the mood swings. I actually had hair loss, heart palpitations, and anxiety, and just frequent urination, which was really annoying. And you would think you're finished with the bathroom and your bladder will be like, oh no, I'm not done yet and I have to go back. And why why does CJ look like she's shocked? I'm not hearing. Sorry, you're on
I'm
mute.
muted.
Oh,
Okay, so when you said that, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like night hair loss over here, heart
yeah,
palpitations, heartbeat really racing,
yeah,
going to the bathroom so often. My husband's like, "Do not drink water because we cannot stop right now," and it's like so annoying. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be
yeah,
dehydrated." I can't believe you said that, but I also, on top of that, what you're saying, I also have hot flashes at night. I'm like, stop, like just stop. Wow.
yeah. So I didn't start with the hot flashes. I have it now. Now that I'm in postmenopause, I have the hot flashes now. But when I started, I didn't have it. So they had to look for. I think God made me a little extra special because all of my organs are actually upside down. My heart is on the next side. So this experience also helped me realize, okay, my body isn't normal, because they had to literally find where my body parts were. So that was a blessing. But they kept saying that it's because of the stress of loss that is why I was experiencing all these things, which would make sense. But something was just telling me that this wasn't right. So I started therapy to deal with the stress of loss. And I got a lot of things solved with that aspect, but there was still a lot of things that was happening to my body, and I didn't feel like I belonged in my body anymore. It just felt like someone took me out and put me in another body and I didn't belong. And that is when I said, okay, listen, I'm a dietitian, I'm involved in research. Let me do my own research because something isn't adding up. And I kept getting prescriptions for each symptom. And by that time, I was like, I think 8 prescriptions for different symptoms. And I was like, no, this is madness. Let me figure out what's really going on. If nobody could figure it out, let me figure it out. And it's through that research that I realized, oh, along your menopausal journey, you could actually experience over 100 symptoms, physical, mental, and emotional symptoms that no one talks about. And the weirdest of symptoms. So I started having a toothache that made me feel like I needed a root canal. It was that bad. And every time I went to the dentist would be like, oh my God, she's back again. Nothing is wrong with you. I'll do the check, I'll do the x-rays to prove it, but nothing is wrong with your tooth. And that is one of the symptoms that many women experience as well, but nobody talks about it. So
I know. I'm like, today, let me see.
so basically what I tell women is start from the top of your head, and anything that could go wrong with that part of the body, yeah, that could be menopause. So your hair could fall out, you could get dry, your brain fog, feeling like this detached thing where your brain doesn't feel attached to your body. So you can't focus, you can't concentrate. Sometimes you can't remember people's names, people that you've known for years. I've had women say they can't remember how to spell their own name. Like they have this moment where it's like,
It's me.
shucks, what is it again?
Yeah. You're like,
That
CJ,
is,
what's your number?
yeah,
Hold on. I can't. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
See,
so
you,
feeling
oh,
like things are crawling on your skin, feeling electric shocks, joint pain, any part of your body, muscle pain. Well,
knees.
pain, just pain, right? Any part of your body can hurt, and it's a lot of doctors aren't trained in menopause. You have to specialize in it. So this is why it's so hard to diagnose, because if you don't start with those hot flashes, which everyone knows, it's really hard to diagnose. And if you're doing it in your 30s, like I did, and I think CJ, you said you started in your 30s as well.
Yeah, I started in my
Yeah, which
30s
is not
having issues.
traditional, yeah, because they say menopause starts really closer to your 50s. So if you're starting in your 30s and starting with these weird random symptoms, it's really hard to diagnose. So
I
this
just
is
want to
why,
say, right
yeah.
now we are 1,800 people watching us on YouTube
Oh,
live.
oh, no, no pressure and anxiety there.
They
Thanks,
love
CJ.
menopause conversation. Thank you. No pressure. No pressure
Yeah,
at
no
all.
pressure.
No, no, no. We're just talking. Listen, I'm in awe in this conversation right now, and I'm so grateful because none of my doctors literally tells me what's wrong. It's just I stopped going to doctors because I feel like I'm having so many issues. So like right now, I'm gonna show you. Okay, this is like the things that I've been taking. Like and this is not medicine, guys. Okay,
Mhm.
so premium pumpkin apparently helps me with urinary. Like I don't have to go to the bathroom 15 million times in an hour,
Okay.
and that's a gummy. I don't even have Juice Plus here. I have Juice Plus for like vegetables and fruits. I have those. I have digestive enzymes, okay, to process. I have, oh, I don't know, probiotic plus yogurt plus chia seeds and this.
Okay.
Okay. And then I have this another digestive things for my gut because I don't have any more gallbladder. I got my gallbladder taken. I almost died from sepsis on that one.
So did I.
Yeah.
One of
I,
the many surgeries I've had. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have any more. So I I have to watch what I eat because I
Yeah.
feel like, and I'm closer to 50. So it feels like it's getting worse. Like it's either that I even told people, I'm like, man, I don't know what's wrong. Like I can't remember, and I had to like I'm bad with names already, right? And so
Yeah.
when people
Yeah.
are like, hey CJ, do you remember that movie? And I'm like, the
Yeah.
song.
Don't bother ask me about names, and I'm not gonna remember. Don't
I'm
bother.
not. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is my first question then, dear sister. How
Yeah.
can dietary adjustments during menopause support hormonal balance and alleviate those common symptoms like hot flashes and mood swings?
Okay. So the advice for menopause is the advice for practically any health condition, any disease. It starts with your plant-based foods. And when I say plant-based, I'm talking fruits, vegetables, peas, beans, nuts, seeds, and your whole grain foods. I'm not saying that you can't eat meat. I'm not saying that you can't eat your favorite snack foods. What I'm saying is to focus on those foods first. So I'm from the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago to be exact. And the way we traditionally eat is that we put meat on the plate first and look for stuff to go with the meat. I'm saying to change the way you think and put vegetables on your plate first. And in fact, half your plate should be vegetables, quarter of your plate should be whatever starchy foods that you're getting your energy from, that's your carbohydrates, and quarter should be your protein. And you really want to start with your peas or beans first. And then if you want to add meat, sure, no problem. I'll always advocate to reduce red meat because red meat has shown to increase your risk for heart disease. And as soon as you enter into that menopausal journey, your risk for heart disease shoots up. So heart disease is the number one killer for both men and women. But as soon as you enter into menopause, your risk for heart disease shoots up even more. So you
Mm.
really want to try to reduce anything that will lead to heart disease, and red meat has been shown to be one of them. So chicken breast and fish is what I usually say. If you choose to eat meat, focus on those, but really and truly focus on your peas and beans for protein. And peas and beans, it doesn't just give protein. And that's why I love plant-based food, because it's not just protein. It's vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, a whole host of things that really reduces your risk for everything from diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, kidney disease, cancer, and menopause. So I don't have to think about what foods are going to give me vitamin C or where am I going to get protein from. If I just eat a variety of these foods, I cover all bases.
I love it. And I'm glad you talked about phytoestrogens because that's what my next question was. Well, like, what
Okay.
role do they play in menopause
Yeah.
nutrition and which food is rich in these compounds? Like, so
Yeah.
I'm Asian, okay? I
Hmm.
try not to eat rice. Let me tell you something. But I can't help myself. Like,
But
a few
why?
months
Why are you
ago,
trying not to eat rice?
I could because after I eat rice, I feel sleepy. I've noticed that.
Okay. So it may be the portion that you're eating, and it could be that whatever you're combining it with. But let me back up a little bit and explain what menopause is so that we could get into what phytoestrogen does.
Perfect.
Yeah. So menopause is defined as going 12 straight months without having a menstrual cycle. So you're not seeing your period for 12 straight months. And if you're in that 11th month and you get your cycle, you have to start that count from day one, which irritates a lot of my clients because they're counting down and they're like, oh shucks, Lady Flo is here again. I have to start from day one, and they're most irritated because they have to still schedule their activities around that cycle. You can't wear certain colors. You may be afraid to wear white pants. You still have to buy tampons or sanitary napkins. But having that cycle is actually beneficial because when you have your period, if you're still having your period, that means you're still producing estrogen and progesterone. And those are the two main hormones that are involved. To a lesser extent in women, testosterone, but all three are important. Estrogen is extremely important. It's the number one hormone we look at because all along our body, we have estrogen receptors. So, what do I mean by that? Think of a receptor as a sort of lock and key mechanism. So, let's say on your heart, the blood vessels or wherever, the cells, they have that lock section, and the estrogen is the key. So once you have estrogen flowing, that estrogen can sit in that lock and your body can do whatever it needs to do. And estrogen is important for a lot of bodily functions, which is why when estrogen drops, things go haywire. That's why we have dry skin. That's why we get digestive issues. That's why we get the pain because estrogen is involved in those processes. So eating those phytoestrogens sort of mimics the natural estrogen and brings those levels back up. There was a lot of misconception that phytoestrogens causes cancer, especially breast cancer. That has been dispelled. So phytoestrogen foods are like your soy foods, edamame, tofu, tempeh, miso, things like that. You can safely eat those foods.
I
If
love
you've had breast cancer, you're supposed to be working with your doctor and dietitian. It's supposed to be a team because cancer has different stages, there are different types of cancers. So you want to be sure that the foods you're eating is not going to interfere with whatever medication you're on or whatever treatment you're getting. But you can be relatively sure that phytoestrogen foods are safe. But I would still say check with your doctor first. Before that menopausal 12 months, before that is your perimenopause stage where you're still experiencing a menstrual cycle. It can last anywhere from a year to 15, 20 years, depending on how early you start. So, like CJ was saying, we started in our 30s. I'm close to 50 right now. Now I'm in postmenopause. So I have went through about 15 years of perimenopause. Once you're still getting your menstrual cycle, you can still get pregnant, which is what a lot of women forget. So when you're doing that 12-month countdown, remember you're not sure if those 12 months have passed yet. So you can still get pregnant once you're seeing your cycle. Also remember that a lot of other issues can stop your menstrual cycle, fibroids, there are a lot of other things. So please check with your gynecologist to make sure to rule out other things. There's no real test for menopause because those hormones are not just dropping, they're fluctuating.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I describe it is think of like waves in an ocean. When we're in our 30s and 40s, those waves are big, high highs and low troughs. So when we're on a high, estrogen is really high, and then some days will be really low. So that is where we get a mix of symptoms. Some day we're happy, the next day we could be grumpy and angry because those hormones are fluctuating. But if we go to test when the estrogen is high, it will come back saying that we don't have menopause. But it's just because we went on a day that the hormones were high. So we
Mm.
don't really test for menopause. We check symptoms. So if there's a healthcare provider that's testing for estrogen solely to figure out if it's menopausal, I will be really wary of that. They may be testing to rule out other things, which is fine, but there's no specific test to say, yes, you're in menopause. We check those 12 months, and after those 12 months, then we can check to say, okay, your estrogen and progesterone levels are low. We could definitely say, now it's menopause.
I was gonna
And
say that
yeah,
because my doctor actually gave me pills to take. I hate pills, but they gave me my estrogen and progesterone were low, so I'm taking some of those.
yeah.
But I gained weight, so I stopped. I'm like, dude, I'm already gaining weight from like not exercising plus this medicine. No way, I'm gonna be 200 pounds. So I kind of stopped, but I see the difference. I do want to address our sister Banghei's
Mhm.
question here. She goes, what can you suggest for someone who had 4 babies within 5 years? I need some good vitamins and nutrition.
Okay. So I'll come back to that question. Let me just address something you said,
Sure.
because it's something that's very common where people will be prescribed medications. They will get some sort of side effect that they don't like or doesn't agree with them, and then they stop taking it. What you should really do is go back to your doctor and say, listen, I'm having XYZ side effects. Is there another medication I can take? Because there's not one medication for one symptom. There are at least 20 different medications for each symptom or each health issue you have. So yeah, and I know you don't like taking medication, but sometimes it's really necessary. So for example, if we're having really bad symptoms from menopause or from perimenopause, where our quality of life has decreased, where we can't get out of bed, we don't want to surround ourselves with people, we can't be intimate with our partner, we just don't want to be around people, we just want to stay in bed. I would say definitely talk to your doctor and see if there's a medication that could work for you. So that maybe one as simple as a birth control pill. That is a form of what we call hormone replacement therapy. You may have heard the term HRT.
Mhm.
So that will raise your estrogen levels a little, and you may get back that quality of life you're looking for. But there's not just one pill or one type of medication for menopause. So you may have gotten one that doesn't agree with you. And we could try another one and see what works for you. Maybe we need to change the dosage, right? So just to everyone out there, I'm not advocating for pills, but I'm not saying not to take it. I practice holistic treatments, but holistic treatments can work with medication, and hormone replacement therapy medication has literally saved women, because a lot of women have suicidal thoughts around this time as well,
Mm.
which, and it's not just one or two, hundreds of women think about suicide around this time. And if a pill can save that, then I'm all for it, because it's giving you back your quality of life.
Yeah.
So don't just stop taking it. It may be that you haven't given the drug enough time to work. Sometimes it takes up to 3 months for something to actually start working with your body chemistry. So give it time, but definitely go back to your healthcare provider and say, listen,
I'm
I'm
trying to.
gaining weight with this and I have weight management issues already. Is there
Yeah.
something else I can try? Is there a dosage that we could try? Give your healthcare provider that information, and I always suggest journaling those side effects, because with menopause brain, we're not going to remember
I
everything.
forget. Yeah. Yeah.
Write down these symptoms. Today I experienced severe mood changes, severe mood swings. I felt dehydrated, although I was drinking a lot of water. Write it down, because doctors aren't miracle workers.
No.
They're basically just technicians, and you have to point them in the right direction for them to give you the best care.
Yeah, I think for me, I tried it for 6 months. I actually increase and tried it for 6 months, and I just stopped. I'm like, this is just not working. We're
Right.
just
And
gonna
then some,
keep it.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Some things wouldn't just work, and I'm always an advocate for choice, but work with the healthcare team to figure out what works for you. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay. We'll just find something else that works.
I wonder if I wonder if migraine increase. I know it's hormonal for me because when I get my cycle, I get really bad migraines a
Yeah.
lot, and I got hospitalized. I've been doing it now 8 years. I used to vomit like 19 times a day, and I get migraine about 22 out of 30 days. I can't get up. I actually had
Mm.
to get a disability break from my school
Yeah.
on my second master's because I couldn't function. It just was not possible
Yeah.
for my brain to do. And I get to the emergency room all the time, and they're like, "We know what to do with her." They like I feel like I'm a regular
A
customer.
regular. Yeah.
CJ's here. I need some pill. Like it was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they inject Toradol, it's bad for my liver, so I have to watch that too.
Right.
So I try to. That's why I don't try to do any type of medicine as much as I can. But there are times where you have to. Like right now,
Yeah.
there's no way I couldn't function without my migraine pills. Like there's just no way. I tried to
Right.
not do it.
Exactly.
I've tried everything you can name, everything,
Yeah.
injections. I just I can't. It's just not functioning, and I cannot function like that. So I have a miracle drug. It is expensive though. It's like $100 a pill, like tiny little
Yeah.
tiny
Yeah.
pill.
And
Um,
sometimes it just means finding what works for you and
mhm.
marrying that with good nutrition. So
Yes,
both plays a role hand, and it goes hand in hand.
yes.
So going back to the question, uh, good nutrition, it's going to be the same answer. Your fruits, your vegetables, peas, beans, nuts, especially seeds. I think we focus so much on the walnuts and the almonds that we forget things like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds,
Chia
chia
seed.
seeds, flax seeds, hemp
Yes.
seeds. Those are usually less expensive, but they pack so much nutrition in those little seeds. It's not just protein, it's not just fiber, it's omega 3s, it's the phytoestrogens, and it's magnesium, zinc, which usually women in menopause need a lot of, or a lot more of magnesium and zinc. So, to the Ebanga, just focus your plate on good nutrition. Half your plate being vegetables, and let it be a mix of raw and cooked. Your body just, it loves variety. If let's say you were mainly focused on animal products, so a lot of meat, and you're transitioning to more plant-based foods, sometimes for some people, eating raw vegetables gives them nausea, constipation, or digestive issues. It means that your gut doesn't have the right enzymes to break down those foods, and it needs a little transition period. So I would suggest cooking those vegetables first, getting your body accustomed to eating more vegetables, slowly increasing each meal, and then slowly you could transition to more raw products. But definitely your body, it loves, 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 loves variety.
I want to address Jackie Olmsted here. It says I would love it if you ladies talked about glyphosate, right? Because I mean this is like a hot topic right now
Yeah,
as well. Because of what they use on, like Roundup. We all have Roundup in
yeah,
our house, right?
yeah,
And basically, this is back since the 70s, dear sister, right? You can't
yeah,
stop them. It's Monsanto. It's big. It's huge, right? Um,
yeah,
but you're right. Like what most people nowadays and what they do is they have their own mini gardens at home where they can
yeah,
see what they're eating from seeds. So instead of you going against the Monsanto, that's a huge
Mhm.
conglomerate. You cannot go against it no matter what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
So you should just, for me, just plant your own plant if you can. I'm a serial plant murderer, guys. So I can't.
Yeah,
I
I do
try.
not have a green thumb.
Me
I know my
either.
background has a lot of plants. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, plants die around me. So,
Yeah, I can't. You know, even cactus. I kill cactuses.
yeah.
Okay, so that's how bad
But
I am.
yeah, let me talk a little bit about that because it depends on where you are in the world and what access you have to food.
Yep.
My take on it is do the best you can with what you have. And that is for anything in life. Do the best you can with what you have. So your body loves fruits and vegetables, and you should always get in as many fruits and vegetables, at least 5 servings a day. And a serving of vegetables, we're talking about a half cup. That's a serving. So it's not much. If you could go up to 9 servings, even better. Yes, the food has been sprayed with pesticides, it's in the soil. We can't get away from it.
Nope.
So definitely wherever you shop for your fruits and vegetables, wash it as best as you can. I know there's a lot of talk about the environmental group that talks about strawberries being the highest level of pesticides. What they don't tell you though is that the amount you have to eat to raise those level of pesticides in your body is a lot. So it's a little misleading. And you have to really read between the lines. Yes, out of all the fruits, strawberries has the highest level, but it doesn't mean if you eat a few strawberries in your oatmeal, you're going to die. And that is the misconception. The level of pesticides that are in our food right now, and they do test, the amount you have to eat to cause any sort of cancer or anything like that is a lot. A lot of people don't eat anywhere near that level of fruits and vegetables. Certainly, if you have certain types of cancers, I would say go more organic. But organic fruits and vegetables are also sprayed with pesticides. It's just a different type. So don't fool yourself into thinking, okay, I'm eating organic, I'm not getting any pesticides. It's an organic pesticide. And we still aren't sure if those organic pesticides will cause any problems. Remember, for research, it takes at least 5 to 10 years to figure out if something is affecting the body. And
Yep.
it has to affect the body in America. We have to, and then it has to be the same test in Africa, in Europe, for us to say, okay, definitely this is something that is affecting us, which is what happened with Roundup.
Yep.
Roundup in each country had the same effect, so we could say, okay, definitely this is a problem,
Yep.
right? So if you can afford organic, by all means.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I even kosher, right? People are like kosher. How do they do it? It's to me, I feel like a quarter of it it's true and three-quarter is marketing.
yeah,
Literally.
yeah, it is. And it's whoever has the biggest marketing budget, right?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
most important thing I want people to take away from the conversation is have your fruits and vegetables. Whatever you can afford. If you can grow your own food, great. I can't. I don't live in a place where I can grow my own food, right? I don't have that facility. So I have to depend on what's available.
Yep.
Definitely eat what's in season, support local farmers,
Yep.
talk to your farmers because a lot of times they are happy to have that conversation, happy to tell you what sort of practices they use. But above all else, eat more plant based foods. If you check, there are places in the world called the blue zones. That is where the testimonial for where we know, okay, this definitely works. People who live in the blue zones eat predominantly plants. They rarely eat meat. They rarely eat dairy. They will use more soy milk and things like that. There are some people in those communities still eating meat, still eating dairy and stuff like that, but it's very limited amounts. And all of those people across the board live till 100 like it's nothing.
My grandma lived to 101 and she was blind actually and she still
Yes,
lived
so yeah,
that
they
long.
may get some issues with their sight, But
Yeah.
a lot of them are still driving, still riding their bikes, running faster than their grandchildren. And it's because of
My
plant-based
mental
foods.
health too.
We can't deny it. You know, there are a lot
Jackie,
of, yeah.
you're
So
welcome.
non-GMO also has, again, it depends on where you are in the world. GMO just means that they have genetically modified the cells so that the plant could survive longer. So this was important because there were a lot of pests. Let's say places in India, places in Africa where we needed the plants to survive for people to get food.
Yep.
So that is where the whole GMO trend started. If you choose to eat non-GMO foods, fine, no problem. But there's some places in the world where that's all you get. So
Yeah.
I can't
You
say,
don't have
okay,
a choice.
don't eat don't eat GMO foods because then the people will literally starve. Do the best you can depending on where you are and what you have. But the takeaway is focus on plant-based foods.
I
Eat
love that.
your whole grains. Uh, there are a lot of pastas that are made from peas now. There
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of, so you have different options. Some of those things may cost more, so
Right.
it's not accessible to everyone. But I can't stand on a platform and say, okay, just eat organic.
Yeah,
That
you
that is
can't
not
'cause it's not
practical for
affordable.
everyone.
Yeah.
Organic is very expensive where I live.
Yeah.
But focus on fresh foods. Frozen foods are also picked at the peak of freshness, so it's not a problem. If it's something in a can, rinse it, drain it, and use it. Whatever you have access to, and eat more of it.
I love it. So I hate to end this conversation because I'm learning a lot. Like I ask questions so I can learn more, and
Yeah.
hopefully the people who are here are learning more because
Hmm.
I don't have menopause, guys. Okay. I'm closer to 50, but I've been perimenopausing for almost 10 years now. Literally nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street. But it's getting worse for me. Um seems like every year, right? Like the closer I
Yeah.
am to 50, I feel like the closer I am to doing that. And when you said get pregnant because you still have your cycle, I'm like, sister, if I have a baby right now, my youngest would have a cow. Um,
So
yeah,
just take precautions. Yeah.
right. No, but I'm already tied anyway. My tubes are tied since my,
Okay.
in
Okay.
my 20s, and
Yeah.
so I can't have babies. If I wanted to, I could, but I'm like, why? Why would I want to run around at 50 trying to figure out where my 2-year-old is? I don't think so. Uh,
Yeah.
my oldest is almost 20. My youngest is almost 17. I am not having a baby.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
happening. Like I can't even imagine. But this is my last questions for
Sure.
everyone, right? And thank you so much for all those information. I'm loving it. Now, if this is your last day today on this earth, what would be your parting message to your current and future families in terms of living life, legacy, and impact?
I think there's something that someone on LinkedIn says, happy to be on this side of the grass. Once you're alive, you have a choice. You have a choice and you get to live the life you want. You don't have to. The only thing we have to do is die, right? But once we're here, we get to make those choices and we get to choose the life that we want to live. And I will say always live each day as if it's your last. I know it's a cliche statement, but do things that bring you joy. Yes, we all have to work. We all have to earn that dollar. We all have to pay our taxes. But do one thing every day for yourself that brings you joy. If it's a walk outside, if it's smelling the flowers in your garden, if it's taking a walk in the farmer's market with your kids, just do one little thing that brings you joy every day. And that also makes to a positive mindset, which reduces the way you experience your menopausal symptoms as well. So it's all encompassing.
I love that. Brings you joy. I always say that
Yeah,
too. Whatever makes you happy at the moment. Like I can think of a lot
yeah.
of things. My dog makes me happy, even though she's a pain in the rear, but she makes me happy.
So
Doing
just
makeup,
sitting and hugging your dog, yeah.
yeah, doing my makeup in the morning makes me happy. Like, oh, I'm ready to tackle the world, even though I'm not
Yeah,
going
I mean,
anywhere
come on
because I
and
work at
look
home.
at that makeup is fire. Okay, if I
Oh,
knew you were going to do that, I would have done the same thing too. Okay, next time tell me, and I will. Glam myself up.
That's why but I was like, hey, this right here, it's like, oh, powder, powder, powder. Where's the powder? But that makes me happy. I feel good about myself tackling the world, even though I'm in aches and pains. My knee hurts, my back hurts, right? I have a migraine,
Yeah.
my neck hurts, like everything hurts. But you know what? You have to find something that makes you happy. And thank you so much for that reminder. I appreciate you so much, dear sister. You gotta come back. You gotta come back. We gotta have more
Oh,
conversation.
anytime, anytime.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Wait for me, Lisa, on the green room, okay? Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right. Wow, guys, that was an awesome conversation. I hope you learn as much as I have learned. I've heard her on audio rooms on LinkedIn, and now she's live here with almost 2,000 people live here and live stream for YouTube. YouTube, I love you. I love you, YouTube. Thank you so much for being here today and supporting. I saw Lewis in here. I saw Gabe. I saw Willie J, who are men. You guys, by the way, get menopause too. It's called andropause, and that's why I want to bring in Lisa next time back, because I want to have that conversation of menopause or perimenopause for men as well in terms of research. Dr. New just came in. Welcome, sister. We are ending our live stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. We will see you tomorrow with Dr. Johnson, and that is going to still be here on our YouTube channel. Um, just FYI, the when I do Thursdays and Sundays, if you're on my LinkedIn profile and watching it, your comments are not shown because that is a TV platform and that is not another platform that I do. I do StreamYard on Wednesdays, which you can get your comments from LinkedIn, but the other platform that I use for TV does not allow comments on LinkedIn, really. So, not yet, right? It's not my control, it's the platform's control. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys so much. Please have a beautiful Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST to elevate another amazing human being in my community. Again, 50 Inspirational Connections live on 12 p.m. It is going to be amazing seeing group one and answering two questions from 50 inspirational connections. We are back on the map. We are going to be here every single Friday until 10 groups are done with their amazing video. See you guys soon. See you tomorrow. Bye bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.